Hi, everyone. This is Mary Ann McKibben Dana. I am a Presbyterian pastor serving Trinity Presbyterian Church in Herndon, Virginia. And in addition to being a parish pastor, I am also a writer and a speaker and have written a few books, including my most recent one, which is called Hope, a User's Manual. I also work as a leadership and ministry coach. So I work with pastors and church councils and other entities that are working on strategic planning, work-life balance, anything people want to work on. So I have been doing that work for several years and bring all of those things together in the writing and the pastoring work that I do. This practice is a little interesting because, the others kind of, I titled them with these sort of lofty, kind of very broad terms, serve one another and love extravagantly. And this one's very specific, isn't it? Wash one another's feet. And I think I want to talk about it and think about it on two levels. One is the absolute literal, wash one another's feet. As I said, I had a professor in seminary who really believed that this ought to be a sacrament along with baptism and communion. It's something that Jesus instituted, said, go and do likewise. And I have always thought about that. I stopped short of proposing that it be a sacrament, but I think we are really learning something important about what it means to love one another. By washing one another's feet. And I mean that literally, but I also mean that in a broader sense. And what I love about delving into this aspect of love is that it requires our bodies. Love is not primarily an emotion. It's not a cognitive state of being. It is something that we do with our bodies, with our actions, the ways that we encounter one another, the ways that we meet one another, we embrace, we cook for one another, we provide hospitality, we laugh together, we cry together, we hold hands, all of those things, those are deeply embodied practices. And I do know that there are a lot of mainline kind of Christian traditions that we love to be up in our heads. We love to study the word and living it out and thinking about our own finite human bodies feels uncomfortable in a lot of ways. And I think that's why I love foot washing as a practice, whether we engage in it literally or not. It is a reminder that Jesus was a literal physical being, and he knelt down with a towel and a basin of water, and he washed the feet of his disciples. And you have this back and forth in John 13 where Peter is recoiling from this. And there's all kinds of dynamics there of Jesus is saying, I unless I do this, you have no share of me. And there's a little bit of kind of power and who is is Peter worthy to be washed, and should one's Messiah be the one to do this? I mean, there's all those kinds of dynamics, but there's also the physicality of it. And in this one, I really want to encourage all of us to think about what love made into action, love put into practice actually physically looks like. I do find that when I have been in congregations on Maundy Thursday, this is a common practice in some places, because that is when we remember Jesus' Last Supper. And in John, that's really where that practice took place in the biblical narrative and the Passion story. But my experience has been that people are much more willing to be the one washing someone else's feet than the one whose feet are washed. And I think there's something in that too. Implicit in this practice is not only to wash one another's feet, but to allow yourself to be served in that way. And if not in that literal way, but in that figurative way. Many of us find it easier to to give love than to receive it. And maybe here's a little place where we can be part of the receiving as well, to let others share God's love with us. And in that, I think we love more fully. If we're always the one giving and not able to receive, then our love may not be as full as it could be. And so with this one, I want to encourage people to think on both sides of the equation. Washing one another's feet is a mutual practice that I want to invite us all into.